Hi, I am Fred from therequirementsengineer.com. In this video, I show you how to create a library in Draw.io. You will learn the exact workflow step by step, and you will learn how a custom library helps you reuse shapes, save time, and keep your diagrams consistent. If you like practical tutorials about modeling and requirements engineering, please subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss the next videos. What is Draw.io? Draw.io, also known as diagrams.net, is a flexible diagramming tool. I use it for flowcharts, process diagrams, UML models, network diagrams, and many other visuals. It is easy to start with. I can drag shapes onto the canvas, connect them with arrows, and build clear diagrams very quickly. However, when I use the same shapes again and again, I do not want to recreate them every time. That is where libraries become useful. Why create a library in Draw.io? A library lets me store reusable diagram elements. For example, I can store custom process shapes, network symbols, icons, or prepared diagram parts. Then I can reuse them later in other diagrams. This saves time. It also helps me keep a consistent style, and it reduces mistakes because I do not have to rebuild the same element again and again. A custom library is especially useful when I work with reoccurring diagram types. For example, I may create many process diagrams, system diagrams, or network diagrams. Instead of starting from zero every time, I can build my own reusable toolbox. Now, let us get in. Step 1. I open my diagram in Draw.io. In this example, I already have a simple process diagram on the canvas. You can use the browser version or the desktop app. I use the desktop app here. However, the workflow looks very similar in both versions. Step 2. I click File. Now the File menu opens. Here I choose New Library. This is the important menu entry. It creates a new custom library that I can use in the left sidebar. So I do not just add a normal shape to the canvas. Instead, I create a reusable shape collection. Step 3. Now I name the library. In this example, I call it Process Library. I choose a clear name because this name helps me recognize the library later. A good library name should describe the purpose. For example, I could use process library for process elements. I could use network library for network symbols. Or I could use company shapes for branded diagram elements. Then I save the library. as an XML file. This file is important. It stores the library so I can use it again later. Thus, Draw.io opens the Save dialog. Here I choose the location where I want to store the library file. In this example, I am already in the target folder. I keep the XML file type. After that, I click Save. So the workflow is simple. Name the library, choose the location, save it as an XML file. Step 4. Now I can see my new library in the left sidebar. In this example, the library appears below the scratchpad. It has the name Process Library. At first, the library is empty. That is normal. It shows an area that says Drag Elements here. This is where I can place the elements that I want to reuse later. Step 5. Now I add elements to the library. First, I select the element that I want to reuse. In this example, I select a decision shape from the diagram. Then I drag this element from the canvas into the library area on the left. While I drag it, the diagram may look a little messy for a moment. For example, connectors may stretch or the selected element may move visually. That is not a problem. I simply continue and drop the elements into the library area. After I release the mouse button, Draw.io adds the element to the library. Now I can see a small preview of the saved shape in the library panel. This means the element is now reusable. I do not have to recreate it from scratch. I can use it again whenever I need it. Step 6. Now I reuse the element. I simply drag the saved shape from the library back onto the canvas. Draw.io creates a new copy of that element. This is the key benefit. The library does not just move the original shape. It gives me a reusable element. So I can use the same shape many times in the same diagram or in other diagrams. This is very helpful when I build diagrams with repeated structures. For example, I can save a decision shape, I can save a task shape, I can save a complete mini process. Or I can save a prepared diagram component that already has the right labels, colors, and formatting. As a result, I work faster and my diagrams look more consistent. One important note: do not confuse a custom library with the scratchpad. The scratchpad is useful for quick reusable elements. However, A custom library gives me a named library file. That makes it easier to organize, save, and reuse a specific set of shapes. So, if I only need a quick temporary shape, the Scratchpad may be enough. But if I want a reusable collection for a project, a topic, or a diagram type, I create a library. And later, when I want to use an existing library again, I can go back to the File menu. Then I can use Open Library. This lets me load a saved library file again. So the full idea is create the library once, save it as an XML file, add reusable elements, then open and reuse that library whenever I need it. When should I use this feature? I use a custom library when I repeat the same diagram elements often. For example, I can use it for IT network diagrams with routers, switches, and firewalls. I can use it for business process diagrams with standard process blocks. I can use it for requirement engineering diagrams with recurring actors, systems, or document symbols. And I can use it for branded diagrams when I want a consistent visual style. This is especially useful for tutorials, documentation, and professional modeling work, because consistency matters. When diagrams look consistent, readers understand them faster. So this is how I create a library in Draw.io. Open your diagram, click File, choose New Library, give the library a clear name, save it as an XML file, find the new library in the left sidebar, drag elements into the library. Then drag them back onto the canvas whenever you need them. Creating a library in Draw.io is a small feature with a big effect. It saves time. It supports consistency. And it makes repetitive diagram work much easier. If this video helped, support the channel. Please like the video and subscribe for more Draw.io tutorials. Also tell me in the comments, do you use Draw.io libraries for process diagrams, network diagrams, or another type of diagram? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.